the future superstars. If you've been looking at a Kirkistown Formula Ford entry list from 10 years ago, you would have seen an Eddie Irvine from Conlig, a few years before that a Martin Donnelly from Belfast, and before that a Kenny Atchison from Cookstown. All of them of course made it into Formula 1. But there are a few in today's lineup that, given the right brakes, could follow. Watch out for Neil Shanahan from Dublin in car number 1 and Gary Turkerton from Portadown in car number 28. You might just be looking at a champion of the future.
When you're stargazing, you've got to start with Neil Shanahan. When the 19-year-old Churchtown lad graduated from karting, he went straight to the winner's circle. Neil has been the DHL Formula Ford 1600 champion, the Dunlop Driver of the Year, the Sexton Trophy winner, and this year he leads the Ford of Ireland Series.
Yeah, we were going great for the last 2 days. We've been quickest in testing with our soulless engine. Unfortunately, we had a problem and our engine let go yesterday. We've been very lucky to get a higher of an engine off Richie Ryan's. If it wasn't for Richie, we'd be going home today, and we need to get out there and score points, even if it's only going to be an 8th place points. We're leading the championship by 10 points ahead of Chris Paul. We need points today, and we're just lucky to have an engine and be there.
Here we are, the restart, same grid positions. We're looking at the champion leader at the moment, number 1, Neil Shanahan there, right back, and he's a lot of ground to make up, but he's a very down on power engine today.
Then we have Philip Joe, then Neil Shannon, he's moved up a bit. Chris Paul is really on his gearbox, and this is where he wants to be. Remember, the battle for the championship between these two, he's got to make a move soon, Chris.
Chris Paul, very experienced indeed, and very experienced particularly at Kirkistown. Neil Shanahan, both in Van Diemen's, those two drivers, just coming into your picture after Alan Ring. There they are, number 32. That's Chris Paul there, shadowing his championship rival, who, remember, has had to borrow an engine today and is a bit down on power.
Look at Shannon, he's still staying with Chris Paul, even with this borrowed engine. Now, that's not to say there's anything wrong, but every engine is different, so the power band might be slightly different from what he's used to, but at the moment, he's struggling a little bit. But as long as he can see Chris Paul and keep him in sight, his championship is still alive.
Well, Neil Shanahan driving a very canny race here. He's in the borrowed engine. It's not that much down in power, but he's really on a damage limitation exercise here and trying to go for the maximum points, and not a perfect weekend for him.
Don't have a pace car out or even a red flag, which unfortunately will spoil this race for him.
So is Richie Ryan's going to win this race? Is the race is going to be halted at this stage? What a pity, because we've got some very entertaining dices down the field. So Ryan's may well make it a My Gal victory if they bring out the red flag here. We're waiting to see. Meanwhile, we're still looking at this battle with the current championship leader, Neil Shanahan there, number 1, right on the tail of another My Gal. That's and there's the red flag. So the race is being stopped, and indeed the result is going to be declared at this stage.